guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be making gel nails again. I'm very excited to share this set. It is a pink ombre kind of flower 3D explosion set using the Bunny Chu collection from Yogurt Nail, which is the collection that I hauled in my previous haul video. Here is my mood board. As you can see, it's a lot of pink, purple, explosion, flower 3D vibes. And as always, we're going to be doing gel nails, so I just want to highlight safety. If you're going to do DIY gel nails, please don't touch uncured gel with your skin and wear gloves, do research into lamp compatibility, all of that stuff. Now getting into the design, I'm going to be using the Canoe short square tips, which are my ride or die for literally like the past 6 months. And the main gels are going to be these 5 from the Bunny Chu collection from Yogurt Nail, which is the main reason why I actually wanted to make this set. I really wanted to experiment with doing an ombre set using like 5 different base gels, and it was a lot of work, I will not lie to you, but I really like the outcome. And these Yogurt Nail gels are a dream to work with as well. They blended together so nicely and just look so creamy as well, like oh, they're gorgeous. So the way that I decided to go about the ombre was literally just doing 2 layers of an ombre per nail. It was a lot of work, like I'm mentioning, because in total it meant doing 20 layers of ombre, which, you know, yeah, that adds up in the time, but it was also kind of therapeutic to just sit there and paint, you know? Anyway, the way that I did the ombre is painting on your lightest colors first, and then painting your darker colors around the lighter colors, and then going in with a blending stippling brush that I bought from Temu. I really like these blending brushes, and just lightly blending them together. It's really a case of don't add too much pressure with your brush when you are blending them, because you'll risk, you know, kind of creating gaps in the polish where you actually remove all of the gel in total from the nail, and you don't want that. I would also recommend you not to be afraid with the amount of gel that you actually put on as your base layer. For example, you can see these nails here. When I was making them first, I actually added quite a fine thin layer, and I think you kind of lose some of the colors because I made the layers so thin. And as I'm just finishing up this aura nail here, you can see the first coat of my left hand is done, and they definitely are blended and pretty, but also pretty subtle in terms of how the ombre and the colors show up as well. And as I'm going in and painting my second coat of the left hand nails, you can still see, because I made the coats pretty sheer, these colors definitely blend together. They blend together gorgeously, like do not get me wrong on that, but it's definitely subtle. And I think that is one thing that I would recommend you if you're going to be doing ombres with like pastel creamy colors, then definitely load up the gel, you know, make sure that it's pigmented. Here in the aura nail, I did do it a bit differently. I didn't actually add it as a drop in the center. I kind of added quite a bit and then went lightly with the blending just so that it would show up more, and I definitely think this shows up a lot better than it was on the first coat. And of course, when you add a top coat, it will smooth out as well. And then this is the left hand of all the second coats complete. And because I thought I wanted it to have a little bit more pop, on the right hand I went in with more pigmented, thicker coats, and it definitely, in comparison, the colors show up a lot better, right? And there were 2 main things I actually changed on this. One was that when I was painting on the nail, I made sure to follow the kind of up and down pattern of the nail. So for example, I didn't really paint across as much. I tried to keep it so that how you would normally paint a nail from, you know, the cuticle area to the free edge. I think that helped. And then also I think another point was not being afraid to touch the polish straight up to where the other like polish was, for example, and then just making sure with that I was using, you know, like a white notepad just to wipe off or dot off my brush as I go, so that I didn't transfer some of one color into the bottle of another color. As you can see here, this thumbnail, the ombre turned out so pigmented and beautiful. And now that's it for the ombre base portion of this video. We're going to go in with starting the designs. So the first design that I decided to do was using these dried flowers. I think I've used these dried flowers in a design once before, but it was before I started my YouTube. So definitely a learning experience for me here. So I cut the flowers up because I wanted to kind of curate my own flowers, and then painted a layer of top coat, just my normal Nailbayo top coat. So it's a pretty thin top coat. And then I just went in with tweezers and started kind of building the flower out how I wanted, picking up tiny pieces of flower and then putting them together in a circular motion, trying to make sure that my stems, or like the deeper bits, were in the middle, and then just rearranging this and shaping this out. It takes a while for you to kind of build it out how you like, and I think you definitely have to be specific with the pieces of flower that you pick up, because not all of them are going to fit together nicely. But I think if you take your time and you're patient, it can look really nice. And then after curing that, I went in with the Jin.b Fix gel, and I'm going in with these small round Aurora balls. These have no flat edge on them, so that's why I'm using the Fix gel, because it's a pretty thick gel to attach them. Just taking my time, you know, some of the pink ones, some of the white ones. I also hauled these in my Temu haul video, so they are from Temu, very cheap, you know, like pretty gems, but I think they're pretty effective, and I think they really catch the light nicely as well. That's one thing I find, if you can see here, because they have an aurora shift in them and they're round. There's no like flat edge, so they kind of just give a glimmer at any angle. It's really, really pretty. So as I'm fixing these on, just taking my time and then going in with my flash curing lamp just to cure them in place. This flash cure lamp is from Cookie, so a UK-based Korean nail gel supplier. And I really like it. It's been working strong so far for the past 6 months that I've had it. So yeah, we'll just flash cure those in place, and then I will go in with my top coat. This is the Mayo Glass top gel. I absolutely love this top gel. Oh my gosh, it is my ride or die now. It never yellows. It's so smooth, it's so easy. It's not too thin, but not too thick, like perfect consistency. And then next I'm going to go in with the Cocoa Squeeze gel, which is also a product that I hauled in my previous collective gel haul video. My friend got these for me from Japan, but I think you can also buy them on Tat if you're in Canada or USA, because they have online stores. I'm going to use this similar to how you can use the Jello Jello Zig Zag gel. So I'm going to squeeze blobs over the flowers and then just shape them with a liner brush that I have, and then cure. And you can see here it gives like an encapsulated look to the flowers, which is really pretty. So now we are done with this nail, we'll move on to the next one. This will be on top of the ombre nail that we did previously. So I'm going to go in with one of these really pretty sakura flower charms, which is also one I hauled from the Temu haul, and using the Jin.b Fix gel again, dip this in and then just apply it to the nail. Really like doing this method for applying charms. It makes it so easy to pick up like the right amount of gel, where it's not too much, not too little, and it just is so easy to apply. And then I'm going to flash cure that in place and go in with my Mayo Glass top gel again, because we're going to be doing 3D swirls on top of this nail. So 3D swirls, as always, think of it as like your final touch, your final finishing aspect of your nail. You always want to do it last, and you always want to use a non-wipe, thicker viscosity gel to do your swirls as well. Personally, and I'm sure this is the same for like 95% of other people, I love using the Crazy Top Thick gel for this. It's just a dream to work with. In terms of brushes, I'm using the Fiorte Slim Liner Brush, which is perfect. Oh my gosh, look at this. It is a really thin, short liner brush, so it's perfect for being able to do really detailed, smaller swirls, as you can see here. I did 2 on the top and then 2 on the bottom, and just making sure that you kind of pick up a blob, you let gravity pull that blob to the bottom of your brush, and then you just kind of glide your blob on and release the pressure that you're having on the brush as you kind of pull it out. And that's actually the first nail complete, so I'm just going to be using the same technique on the index finger of my right hand here, but this time I wanted to do a slightly different pattern for the swirls, which was a bit challenging because I had the gem in the way there. So I'm wondering in future if I'm going to be doing kind of like a design where I'm pulling into a gem. Should I do the 3D swirls first and then apply the gem, or should I keep it like this? Because I think you can shape the 3D swirls around the gem much more nicely this way if you do them last. Then the gem is kind of in the way, so I don't know. Let me know down below if you have any tips for this, but this is this nail complete as well. I love how these two turned out in total. Okay, so the next design is definitely a bit more of an experimental one. I'm using nail films again, these very bright pink orange film, but it also has a blue shift to it that it doesn't show on the camera right now. And I'm going to be cutting out a square of this and applying it in the center to kind of create a mirror effect. This is a design that I saw from Susie on Instagram in a design that she did that was kind of Xiaohongshu inspired. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, pretty much she kind of cut out a film, applied a film, and then pulled some gel around the edges of it, and it created like a mirror kind of vibe. You'll see as we go along with this. So I added some Jello Jello Zig Zag gel just to attach it, and then I'm just placing my rectangle mirror kind of cut out on top of it, trying to flatten it out. That's one thing that I would also mention. If you're going to be using nail foils or nail films, make sure that you flatten them out with your tweezers both horizontally and vertically, and then flash cure it. And I'm going in with some of the Mayo Glass top gel just to cover the top, just to create like a smoother finish on top of the film as well. So here is where it kind of comes together to be more of like a mirror. I'm going in with blobs of the Jello Jello Zig Zag gel and applying these to the edges and then using a liner brush just to kind of shape it out. I was trying to drag it out from the middle out to the side so that you'd have like a pointier side, if that made sense. But I actually went back to look at how Susie did this in her reel after I'd, finished this set, and I saw that she kind of added a lot of the zigzag gel all around at first and then just kind of played about with it. Whereas the way that I decided to go about this was kind of adding blobs and doing each blob separately and flash curing that blob and then adding another blob, shaping it, flash curing it, I'm thinking this method actually was more time consuming and I don't know whether it was as effective as her method either. So I think in future, if I replicate this design, I think I'm going to try her method of doing it, but I still really like how it came out in total. I think it could have just been a bit more like wow and had a bit more pizzazz to it if I'd gone a bit more crazy with the amount of gel that I used. Yeah, I don't know. And I also really like the silver color that she used as well, but unfortunately I don't have any pure silver nail films either, so definitely want to pick up some silver ones to do silver in the future as well. And then after I was finished with all of that, I just flash cured it and then went in with my Mayo Glass top gel again, painted a layer of top coat around the edges, making sure also to kind of fill in any of the gaps that I had on either side of the foil underneath. And this nail is done, and you can see here, really pretty. I really like the outcome, and when it hits the light at certain angles, it gives this gorgeous like bright blue effect as well. Next is a fun part. We're going to be doing some sculpting using the Valla Toy gel. And we're going to spice it up with a little bit of chrome powder. This is the Cocoist Aurora Pink chrome pen. I really like their chrome pens, especially the blue one, the Aurora Blue chrome pen. It has a gorgeous blue pink shift to it, but unfortunately I actually ran out of the powder in that chrome pen and I just haven't repurchased it since, but I kind of miss it. I'm thinking, should I repurchase it, Anyway, I'm going to kind of just blend all of that together using a silicone tool and then roll it out into a long line and then pick up that line. The way that I like to pick up lines is slowly going down the edge and kind of budging it along so that you can pick up the whole line much more easily without any of it sticking to your pad. I'm going to then kind of drop it in a rough, very rough circle shape onto the nail and just trim off any of the excess, because if you have excess 3D gel, it just ruins your design. It makes it so much more difficult to sculpt. So I'm going in with these very, very tiny silicone tools I got from Temu, and I'm going to start pushing in parts of the gel into a flower shape. This is where the sculpting part comes from. It's pretty easy to sculpt this, to be honest, but you'd have to be a bit patient with it and you can't just go recklessly with it. You kind of have to take your time and also make sure that you don't have uneven gel at any point in your petals, like you can't have too much gel on one part and then a thinner part right next to it, because that's just gonna mess up the look of it in total. After I'd kind of got it to a point where I really liked the shape of it and I thought, you know what, if I keep playing around with this, I'm just gonna mess it up and it's gonna be more difficult to do, I decided to flash cure it and then move on to the second flower, because I'm going to be doing 2 flowers on this thumbnail. So I picked up the excess gel that I had and just kind of rolled it into a very small ball, applied it on the nail and then flattened it out, because this one I wanted to do the same technique, right, where I pushed in from the edges, but this one I didn't want to be a empty flower. I wanted it to be an opaque flower in terms of like it was all just solid gel. So I needed to flatten it out first, right? And then once it was kind of flat or to the kind of shape, the thinness that I thought would work, I then went in with my silicone tool again and just very gently budged into the center where I thought that the petals would look best. This was a lot of trial and error because it's a smaller 3D flower that I was sculpting. It definitely took me a bit more time, a bit more patience to sculpt it, but I think in total it's really cute and I'm very happy with the outcome. And then after flash curing that as well, I then went in with my Mayo Glass top gel and just top gelled everything. Whenever I'm adding top coat to a 3D gel, I always try to add very thin coats because I don't want to flood the 3D gel, right? You can see here this flower that I've made has an empty part in the center. I don't want to risk adding too much top gel into that center and losing the 3D shape that you have, but you also always need to top gel your 3D gel because 3D gel is almost never non-wipe. Wow, I feel like that sentence was a tongue twister to say, but I hope that made sense. I just added one of those balls into the center and then this is this nail pretty much complete. I really like the outcome of it. I think it's very simple but also very pretty. And also just to unify across the set, I did do a similar flower on the index finger of my left hand as well. So the next nail is a bit more of a filler nail. You know, I always like to blend these kind of designs into my sets. Definitely more of an explosion nail, I would say. This nail really is just like an explosion of many concepts in one. It can kind of look messy to you, but it's also kind of nice. Also, side note, I'm in England, right? In London, and England is notorious for raining right now, but outside it is raining so heavily and it's been foggy and misty the whole day. But it's such a vibe right now, you know, like to be inside and be all warm and cozy whilst it's just like raining outside. I don't know whether it's gonna thunderstorm, you know, but I kind of want it to thunderstorm. Anyway, coming back to the nails, this is a bit more of an explosion, messy design. Again, I'm going in with some of the squeeze gel. I did top coat this gel even after adding the squeeze gel, but that was because when I made this nail I wasn't sure whether this squeeze gel was non-wipe or not, but then I've actually gone away and done research online on the Japanese website because I studied Japanese in uni for 3 to 4 years, so my Japanese is pretty okay. To be honest, I'm not gonna brag, it's not amazing, but I know my way around, I can read, I can speak. I also do my Duolingo every day. I think I'm on like a 330-day streak right now, so I'm so close to 1 year of Duolingo. I'm just thinking, what should I do for my 1 year anniversary? Should I get a cake? Should I make Duolingo nails? Oh my gosh, now that I think about it, I might make Duolingo nails. That would be like kind of a vibe. Anyway, yeah, so I can speak Japanese, I can read Japanese, you know. So I did go on the website and Google it, and it does say non-wipe compatible in Japanese. So Cocoa Squeeze Gel is non-wipe, all good to go. Don't need to top coat it, although I did on this specific instance because I didn't research it before I made this nail, and then I was like, you know what, I'd rather just not risk it and I'll just top coat it anyway. So after adding on those blobs onto some of the flowers, I did go in with some of these flakes as well because it just looked a bit empty to me. In my design, I didn't have any flakes on this nail, but after kind of doing the flowers and the blobs, I was like, it looks a bit bland, it looks a bit empty, you know, we got to pizzazz it up a bit, which is why I think maybe it started to look a bit messy because I have 4 concepts going on at one time on this nail. But it's a thumbnail, you know, you have so much real estate on a thumbnail, so I'm just gonna like build it up. One other thing that I would say is I did wear this set. So far, I've been wearing this set for 10 days using the Jello Jello Peel Off Gel and the IBD 5-second air dry, like thicker viscosity glue, and all my nails are going strong. They're all on my hand still. Okay, other than one accident that I had, which I'm so annoyed about, because basically my index finger, you know, I put that flower charm on it, right? I went to go grab the door handle and I have a robe on the back of the door, so then the robe had a loose thread in it, so then the nail, as I went to go grab the door handle, the nail literally went through the loose thread, and then when I pulled it back to like, you know, to stop holding the door handle, the thread literally that I felt it like was like up, and I was like, oh that has just basically like ripped my nail. Fortunately, I'm using the Jello Jello peel off base gel, right? So it didn't actually damage my nail. It literally just affected the peel off base gel. But I'm just thinking now, you know, if I'd had glue on that nail, oh my gosh, it would have been bad. It would have ripped so many layers of my nail off. And this is also why I really swear by the Jello Jello peel off gel as well. It is definitely like a really good method if you want to keep your nail health. As long as you remove it correctly and you're patient with your removal, you don't just rip it off, you know? So anyway, that is kind of that explosion nail done. I like the outcome of it, you know? I think it's pretty nice. It's a nice nail, it fits with the theme of the set. And the last design that we're going to be doing is actually, if anybody watched my magnetic butterfly nails, and you also saw the DVOK Instagram when they came out with the new moon collection, they did this technique where they added on a magnetic base gel and then they mattified it and then they drew lines over the top, you know, so that you'd have like the shimmer of the magnet underneath. Pretty much I just wanted to replicate that, but I didn't use any glitter or magnet on these nails, and I think that kind of was the whole thing that caused the effect to look so nice. So you can see here I'm just doing it on matte and it doesn't really give the same effect as when you do it on a magnetic gel, but I think it's still pretty, you know, like ultimately it still fits the concept of the whole design. So anyway, yeah, going back to my previous point around retention, wearing press-on nails, I think one point that I'm going to take going forwards is that I'm not going to add bulky gems or too many 3D elements to my thumbs and my index fingers, because those are kind of your fingers that you use the most. And if you have bulky charms on them, you kind of just risk accidents. But overall, I'm really happy with the retention of this set so far, because I've been living with press-on nails using a peel-off base gel with air dry glue for 10 days. And other than that one accident, all of them are, you know, like they're secure. They're on my nails still. So I did actually film my application of this set to, you know, create into its own how I apply video, which is still something that I really want to work on. But I also just want to make sure that I get my application to a point where I feel like my method is down pat and it's a good one to share with people. So please patiently wait for that video. It is going to be coming soon. I don't know if it will be this set that I applied or if I will do it for the next set that I apply. But yeah, it's definitely in the pipeline and very excited to share. Because I know that that is one question that a lot of people ask me very frequently. So yeah, as you can see, I just did a similar design on another nail. This time I added flakes just to give it a bit more pizzazz, and we are done. This is the whole set complete. I really like the blend of, you know, like those syrup, jelly, yogurt, Nail Bunny Chu collection gels as your base coat, and then all of the additional kind of elements that I added on top. I think it comes together so nicely and everything just kind of, you know, pulls together. It looks really nice. Hopefully it doesn't look too much. Please let me know your thoughts down below on this set. And as always, let me know any thoughts, any comments, any questions in the comments below, and I will be sure to answer them, or, you know, just chat away with you, because I love chatting with people about nails. Especially, like, I got a message on my last video of one of you saying that you bought the ice gel because of me, and like, that's amazing. Like, I hope that you love it, you know, like, because I love it so much and I really want to share, and it just makes me happy if other people buy and love things that I have shared because I love them as well, you know? Like, that is so precious. So thank you so much again for watching. If you watched to this point, please like and subscribe if you liked the video. I also have TikTok and Instagram, which you can go follow me, check out my reels and shorts there, because I'm being very active with shorts right now. And until next time, I hope that you have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.